Happy March Caprice, everyone, and thank you all for joining me on today's installment of continuing to fanwrite the SYLLECU's version of KH4, because Square still hasn't released anything more substantial and cannot contradict me. To give you all a refresher, last year I released An Oath to Return to Arendelle, How Frozen 2 Can Unlock Kairi's Potential in KH4, in which I argued Frozen 2 presents a thematically appropriate prologue world for Kairi and Aqua. I highlighted the thematic synergy between the properties, both in how they underscore the importance of acknowledging the sins of the past, as well as the importance placed on tackling problems as a team instead of shouldering the burden alone. From this journey, Kairi would gain the confidence needed to continue traversing worlds and learn to trust her own strength and intuition. Finally, I proposed that the Arendellian royal sisters would remain in contact with Kairi via gummy phone, both working to further the mission, Elsa learning about ancient magic from the North Aldrins, and Anna researching the castle archives. This project is an immediate sequel essay, picking up right where we left off. Now that she's a seasoned traveler, I wonder if you could envision with me where Kairi might go to learn more about magic and unreality. Okay, yeah, you see the title of the video, we're taking on Princess and the Frog. I have a deep family history with and connection to New Orleans. Both of my parents were raised there, and I grew up getting Café du Monde and cheering on the Saints during my summer visits, so this property is perhaps more dear to me even than Frozen 2. I saw it a whopping 4 times during its initial theatrical run. I know it backwards and forwards, and so I think I can be the one to integrate it well, thematically speaking. Given the pessimistic tone of the Princess and the Frog in KH conversation, with the big sticking point being an aversion to turning the original characters into frogs and doing the movie again, I know I have an uphill battle ahead of me. To tackle this challenge, I have elected to use what scant information we have received about the, as of this video's release, still upcoming Disney Plus series, Tiana. Notably, I stumbled upon a quote from showrunner Joyce Sherry, which I'll paraphrase now. Tiana is learning that the world is bigger than she realized, and learning what it means to be a leader. There are a lot more magical things happening in the world than she realizes, and she will explore how she maintains who she is, both as an individual and as a leader. Given these themes, and the new possibilities of unreality in the KH universe, I believe that Princess and the Frog presents an invaluable exercise in thematic integration, one that I don't believe can quite be captured in any other property. I imagine that between worlds, Kairi resumes her Keyblade training with Aqua, particularly honing the new skills she has learned on each of her journeys. Perhaps the Land of Departure serves as a hub world for Kairi's campaign. During one such afternoon, as Kairi takes a break from her training, her gummy phone rings with an incoming call from Queen Anna of Arendelle. This is a surprise, since while Kairi and Aqua stuck around for Anna's coronation and the subsequent celebration, they anticipated she would be much too busy with the responsibilities of her new role to contact them again so soon. True to her word, however, Anna has been scouring Arendelle's magic archives during her scant free time. She and Kristoff have found a tome depicting a place across the ocean, unreachable by normal means. While Anna suspects that it might be possible for Kairi, who is not from Arendelle, to travel there with her Keyblade, she warns her. The record mentions a kind of dark magic far different than the powers that Elsa or any of the elemental spirits possesses. This magic has the power to make dreams reality at a terrible price, or so the legend says. She mentions that she has spoken with Elsa as well, who corroborates that the North Aldrin legends speak fearfully of these so-called friends on the other side. Kairi thanks Anna and relays what she has learned to Aqua, who decides that this is the perfect first solo mission for her apprentice, and a great way for her to test her new Keyblade armor and glider. As she did before, Kairi wishes with all her might to open a portal and connect to this new heart, and opens another gate to the Big Easy. The portal throws her right into Jackson Square, right at the heart of the French Quarter, and it is bustling with activity. More people and sights and smells than Kairi has ever seen in one place before. Remember how Twilight Town has dozens of NPCs in the town area everywhere you look, and they all have their own lives and conversations? It's just like that, really the only way to capture the bustle of the Quarter, even as it would have been in Tiana's time. Kairi is still less experienced with traveling and opening portals, at least that's what Melman wants us to believe, and she's probably tired and hungry from her journey. When she asks about where she can get a bite to eat, the townspeople rave about Tiana's palace just across the river. It is there that Kairi eats one of the best meals of her life, probably some chicken sausage gumbo, and Tiana's famous
Man Kitchen beignets.
The food is so delicious she recalls Jiminy's passages about Le Grand Bistro and its little chef from Sora's previous adventure, and how Sora worked together with that chef to create special food that aided him in battle. As such, she wishes to thank the chef personally for her meal. Tiana has recently returned to New Orleans and her restaurant, propelled by a force she cannot explain. That force is stronger once Kairi arrives, and once business closes for the day, Kairi thanks her for the meal, in the process hit with a similar sense of connectedness that she shared both with the previous Princesses of Heart and with the Arendellian royal sisters. Tiana is grateful for the recognition, but notes that Kairi looks a bit run down from her journey and insists on making her some more of the food she loved so much to keep her going on the way. I think this is a spectacular way to bring back and contextualize the cooking minigame, but this first time goes a bit differently. Tiana attempts to turn on the gas for the stove, only for a fire spell to spring from her hands and light it instantly. While she attempts to explain away the situation, Kairi urges her not to worry, clasping her hands and telling her that she, too, can cast magic, and that she must have been called here so they could meet. Their conversation is cut short, however, when a small number of Heartless, sensing the strength of the light in their hearts, converge on the scene. Kairi is able to dispatch them quickly, and asks if this has happened before. Tiana confesses that they have appeared, but only recently, and suggests a visit to the only person she trusts to shed light on all the new strangeness, Mama Odie. With the Heartless on the prowl and her magic still hard to control, Tiana is a bit nervous about making the journey back to the bayou, but she is not above getting her hands dirty. She fights with a set of kitchen knives and bursts of fire magic. As with my last project, I do believe that there is strong Heartless design potential here. Alligators make an interesting Heartless design, as do pelicans, snapping turtles, maybe even a small snake or two. Along the way, Kairi shares with Tiana the broader purpose of her journey. Her friend Sora disappeared to an unknown realm, and she's been looking for clues as to where he went. She has found herself drawn to places with magic, and other girls with strong hearts like her. To Kairi's surprise, Tiana reveals that she came back to New Orleans for a similar reason. Though she adores her husband and is in awe of Maldonia, she is overwhelmed by her new life as a princess. She theorizes the stress of all of the change in her life might be the source of the bursts of magic she's experiencing, and when she revealed this to Naveen, he fully supported her decision to return home for a while to get to the bottom of it. Tiana also cautions Kairi, however. Having lost her own father, she also for a long time desperately hoped that the news was wrong and he had simply vanished. She had to accept that her father was gone for good, and she worries about Kairi working so hard to find Sora that she clings to any shred of false hope or deception. The pair eventually make it to the old
tree in the bayou,
and Tiana shares an emotional reunion with Mama Odie, who recognizes her immediately by voice. Upon hearing Kairi's voice, however, she senses the young woman has come to her with a different kind of magical problem. Kairi attempts to begin her tale, but Mama Odie says that she has no need, that the gumbo will reveal all. Tiana laughs fondly, remembering her own confusion her first time through this process while she was still a frog, and tells Kairi to simply help out with the meal, which occurs in another form of the cooking minigame. What does surprise Mama Odie, however, is that Tiana is able to perform magic of her own to help speed up the cooking process. Once the magic gumbo is brewed to perfection, both women take their first bites. A yellow thread emerges from the bowl to show the connection that Tiana and Kairi share in their hearts, the visualization that is felt by Mama Odie. She is not surprised at all by this connection and felt it the moment they walked in. These threads extend from both women, showing their connections to their loved ones. Tiana's threads connecting to her husband, her mom, her father, Charlotte, and her other friends, and some of Kairi's connecting to Riku, Aqua, and the friends she met on her last journey. She's connected to Sora too, of course, but the thread appears fragmented. Mama Odie tugs at that thread, intuiting that this one is the source of Kairi's distress. She performs a separate spell to try and determine where the thread is gone, and surprised when even she cannot see the end of it. This leads her to only one conclusion. Sora has fallen to the other side that the Shadow Man once inhabited. She further speculates that this rift between the worlds was also what allowed the other magic to seep out. Both good magic that has been drawn to Tiana's strong heart, and darker magic that might search for a new host, or take its own form. For Kairi's benefit, Tiana briefly explains her own experience with dark and voodoo magic. She was briefly turned into a frog through a curse, and though she was offered an easy way out by the Shadow Man, a way to make her dream of owning a restaurant come true, she turned it down, as that dream was incomplete without her now husband. After she and Naveen were married and became humans again, she was able to get her restaurant through hard work, but one that was more balanced and not as all-consuming as before. Kairi wonders if she is beginning to become the same, so desperate to be viewed as a contributing member of the team, and so dedicated to her training, that she is missing out on other connections and opportunities around her. Mama Odie sadly remarks that even her magical sight is limited, and that this is all the insight she can give. Kairi and Tiana thank her warmly for her assistance and set off on their way. As the pair journey back towards the city, the Heartless population has grown a bit thicker as it is now nightfall, and the pure lights in Kairi and Tiana's hearts have grown stronger. We are then notified that Kairi can now perform a fire-oriented form change, her first one in this imagining of KH4, along with receiving an upgrade to her fire magic. Yes, I know that Kairi already knows all the Tier 3 spells, but Sora resets every game too, and I have no reason to believe that Kairi wouldn't, at least for gameplay purposes. Because of their deepening connection, I believe Kairi and Tiana are also now able to perform a joint fire-based link command as well. Finally, as a cool bonus, I think it would be neat to see Lewis come to our party's aid for this leg of the journey, as the Bayou is his home at the end of the day. His inclusion would also allow Kairi to see all of the magic at play in this realm, and realize she might have been drawn here for more than just her connection to Tiana. Despite all of these new abilities and the support of friends, all our heroes feel the rumblings of something much bigger and, though they are tempted to run, Kairi and Tiana join hands and move towards the source of that feeling, both to seek out answers and to prevent whatever is there from harming anyone else. Rising from the ground is an enormous snake with a rattle that glows pink, larger-than-life fangs, and a top hat to boot? That's right, everyone, it's Dr. Facilier's Heartless. Let's call it Vexing Viper. I have no reason not to believe, given the exact nature of his abilities and subsequent demise in the original movie, his likeness could not be repurposed as a heartless boss battle for this world, much like Enraged Elk in Union Cross. Tiana tips her head to the side as something about this creature feels familiar, before pulling Kairi away to explain that she believes that this is, in fact, a reincarnation of the same Shadow Man who cursed her. The battle is tricky as it uses its rattler to produce smoky illusions of itself, but the girls begin to make some progress with their magic and team attacks. Just as they begin to make headway, they are surrounded by pink mist that is similar to what Facilier blows onto the unsuspecting gentleman in the opening song. Walking into this mist causes both Kairi and Tiana to experience hallucinations, and this is the biggest reason I chose this world for this project. The magic of this imagining of New Orleans lends itself extremely well to the unreality angle that KH4 is aiming for. When Tiana enters the mist, she sees visions of her father and her past, much like the initial enchantment that she was under before. She is able to speak with her father and tells him that she found love and is happy, and makes peace with him knowing that, even in an illusion. However, her friends on the other side cause the vision to shift and twist. She then sees Naveen admonishing her for relying on magic. She sees Charlotte and her mother being taken over by Heartless, and she blames herself for the magic surge in the first place. She begins to sink into a well of self-doubt before remembering that she has experienced dark magic before, and the way out is to rely on the strength of her heart. She escapes the vision and returns to the swamp, but sees that Kairi is still transfixed by the mist, eyes glazed over pink as a result of the illusion. She calls out, but Kairi cannot seem to hear her. Tiana is determined to spare her new friend the pain of the illusions, fighting off any attacks she can with her fire magic while continuing to call out for Kairi. On the other side, Kairi sees visions of her own past as well, time with her grandmother in Radiant Garden, which are happy feelings for her, even if she remarks that she doesn't remember them. Just like Tiana, however, her vision shifts into a more negative direction influenced by her fears. She sees visions of her time as a test subject, the loneliness of her first days on the islands, and just as with Tiana, her visions begin to twist and reassert that she is not yet ready, that she is wasting her time. Kairi then begins to see Sora fighting the giant Darkseid from the KH4 trailer in a city she's never seen before. As this vision becomes playable, she sees all of the people in the city, including Strelitzia, but many of them are phantoms that cannot be interacted with, or even seem to notice Kairi. She sees this phantom Sora conquer the Darkseid before running away from her and multiplying, much like the Soras we saw in the final world. Just as she is about to catch up to Sora, she hears Terra Xehanort's words from before.
If you arrive in a world that's neither of light nor darkness, but somewhere on the other side, your task will be far from easy.
No, that can't be right, Kairi exclaims, desperately hurling her Keyblade at anything in her way, only for it to phase through everything she touches. Xehanort's voice again echoes in her mind.
That is the answer I have for you.
And she begins to scream, both in fear and frustration, even calling out Sora's name. At last, though muffled at first, Kairi is able to hear Tiana's voice calling out for her. Just for movie reference points, let's say Tiana urges Kairi to dig a little deeper and find a new solution to the problem. Kairi remembers that the Shadow Man is an expert in illusory magic and is finally able to shake the delusions. In a very Sora-esque move, although she does it on her own without Sora's body taking over her or whatever happened in Melnim, thank you very much, she shoots a beam of light straight forward at all offending Heartless, clearing them instantly and tearing open a hole back to the real world. Kairi suddenly jolts out of the spell, much to Tiana's relief. The relief at the time is short-lived, as the girls are forced to dispatch the Heartless for good, but at last the Vexing Viper goes down. On the way back, the girls discuss what they experienced in their illusions, the common thread being that attachment to the past can warp and distort the present, and that fear can easily consume you if you begin to doubt the strength of your connections, and when you forget that you are not alone. Although their mission is accomplished, Kairi still feels a bit shaken by all that she's seen, though she thanks Tiana profusely for her assistance in breaking the spell. Tiana accompanies her back to the restaurant where she cooks her father's old non-magic gumbo recipe. Kairi is glad the bayou is safe, and even more glad Tiana seems to have more of a handle on her magic, but bemoans that after all of her hard work, she was still nearly defeated by the Shadow Man, and earlier than that, bested by Master Xehanort even in her own mind. Tiana notes that not so long ago she had a similar mindset. She believed that hard work, physically draining hard work to the detriment of everything else in life, was all that mattered both to properly honor her father's dream and to achieve her own. Through her initial adventure with Naveen, however, she discovered that there are other forces in life worth pursuing, and she was only finally able to achieve her dream by relying on the love she felt for him, not by abandoning it. She encourages Kairi to do the same, reminding her as before that hard work has its place, but it is not the only thing she will need to save her friend. Kairi is just about ready to say goodbye, but remarks that she feels bad that Tiana still hasn't gotten to the root of her sudden magic abilities. Tiana says that she will be fine and that she will keep chasing any clues that she finds, just as she knows Kairi will be doing for the rest of her journey. Kairi leaves New Orleans and is excited to report her findings to Master Aqua, namely that she discovered another of the new 7, and that she believes she saw a vision of where Sora might have disappeared, the same city that Riku had mentioned before. A fun little epilogue could also see Kairi reporting her findings about magic back to Queen Anna as well, really making Kairi's journey feel more cohesive with each of the people she meets, rather than the more episodic approach we have seen before. Hi everyone, happy March Caprice! I hope you all liked my attempt at incorporating the themes of Princess and the Frog with Kingdom Hearts without resorting to Frog Party members, and also trying to anticipate the themes of the as-yet unreleased Tiana series. I had a blast putting the solution together, and I'm proud to contribute it to March Caprice V. If you want to see more of my content, including my past 2 March Caprice entries, please see the videos on my channel. I also stream on Twitch now and then, so be sure to check that out. And most importantly, if you're watching this as it premieres, please check out the hard work of other creators who have poured their hearts and souls into this spectacular event. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.